So last night we saw an all-around game from Jackson Merrill. What has been the value of his return, not only offensively but defensively, as we saw last night as well?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought the defensive side of it. Clearly a good, great offensive player. Put together a Rookie of the Year campaign last year. A lot of his offense was a part of that. Him moving to center field, that's not an easy switch. Able to do it without any experience, without even playing in AAA, and did it really well last year. But we all recognize, most importantly, Jackson, there is an area or two for an improvement. And I give him credit. Alluded to it last night. He made a really, really physically gifted baseball play on Will, and to get out of I believe the seventh, but that was all instincts based on what he saw. He's got a lefty on lefty. Moylan's got a big arm, got 2 strikes. If this guy hits a double, he hits a double. But I'm going to take away something that's in front of me, and he cheated in and had his radar up mentally and physically, and made as good a play you're going to see. So he's really growing.
So to confirm, that was all him. It wasn't necessarily somewhere that he was positioned to make that play.
It was a combination. The positioning. We have our cards. One of the things of many that I like to do, because I believe championship players think and do for themselves, and championship teams have championship players. We do our part to create the parameters with them. R&D has the recommendations on the card, but a game out there is played by human beings and that have instincts. And the one thing that I encourage is, as much as anybody, is go out and use your instincts. Play the game, see the game, play the game, trust yourself. And it doesn't always work. But it keeps players engaged, but more importantly, it rewards us so hot.
In regards to the bullpen, a tough 9th inning last night. Of course, every bullpen is going to have their ups and downs throughout a season, but for the most part, this bullpen has been really lights out, right? What gives you the confidence that they will continue to get back into that rhythm moving forward? Yeah,
why wouldn't I have the confidence? Listen, everybody gets a little bit of grace, right? And I say this, other side's trying too. And so, track record gives you confidence. People ask me whether it's a bullpen or the team or whatever. When you have a really talented group of players that are going to prepare and compete and work together every day to show up, you're going to get the best version of them. And that's all we can ask. You put those pieces together in every area, then you typically get what we get. And that's a chance to shake hands every night. We had a chance to do it last night. Didn't work out, and I got full confidence in that group tonight.
Mike, Gavin Sheets obviously showed the power potential early in spring training, but you look at his numbers this morning, and the batting average is above 300. What have you noticed about Gavin as a complete hitter in the early part of this season?
I noticed that in spring training too. The power. He went on I can't remember how many homers he hit in 3 or 4 days, but 3 or 4. And that got everybody's attention, rightfully. That does, kind of have its own calling card, that power. But one thing that impressed me about him was the complete hitter approach, ability to stay on the ball. That actually, having power, there's a lot of guys that have power, a lot of guys, in the minor leagues have a lot of big power. But can you hit? And Gavin Sheets can hit, and he's shown the ability to use the whole field. Yesterday against the lefty, boom, knocked the other way, 2 outs. So he's just a complete hitter, and he works on his craft.
What's the plan for Darvish tomorrow?
I think we're looking around the 4-inning, 65-pitch area. Feels about right. Yeah, about that.
How about Matt Waldron? What has he been up
to? He's starting to play some real aggressive catch, starting to see a little bit more chance to get to see some hitters, and him and Hoeing are, working towards a good area where they're, getting closer. What closer looks like, it just means they're progressing every day in their progression.
I know you went around for Shildt Joe Jackson, but any reaction to Rose being eligible now?
I just missed Shildt Joe. Wish I would have been able to see Shildt Joe. I really do, because I like that era. What's my reaction to Pete Rose, Shildt Joe? I don't know the particulars that went into it. All I know is there were 2 really, really, really good baseball players that played the game the right way, cared immensely about the game, had Hall of Fame talent. You know, what they did relative to how they're going to be, you know, have been judged and are now judged, it's not for me to say. But I will say this, grace is important. I think grace is a really important thing. You know, clearly they made mistakes, and, you know, now they're getting some grace. And for me, I don't think there's any shortage of supply of grace in this world.
Mike, you've brought up grace a couple of times. Why do you feel like it's so important maybe for people to get second opportunities or third opportunities, or for people to continue to, you know, give people that grace?
Because we're all broken, man. I mean, you know, I don't want my face not just in the platform for that, but, you know, I think it's even more important now, as we talked about yesterday being Mental Health Day, and I'm not here on a soapbox. You asked me the question, so, you know, the easiest thing in the world to do that does take place in the world now is the ability to bring people down, you know, look for weakness in people, finger pointing. So, you know, people make mistakes, man. People are giving the best they can. People are trying to be the best version of themselves, and, you know, we fall short. And that's the humanness that is just that. You know, we got to prove it. We're on a stage every day where, you know, we treat this game with utmost respect, play it as well as we can, look to compete the best we can to win baseball games. But I can tell you one thing, that the quality of the people in the clubhouse yesterday was no different than the 2 days before when we won 20-1 when we lost yesterday. Still really high character, high quality people that care immensely, that are giving everything they've got. And, you know, the outcome of a baseball game or, you know, anything like that doesn't define who they or we are. So when it doesn't go the way we want it to go, yeah, we get disappointed more than everybody. But, you know, there's some grace involved with when people make mistakes. Doesn't mean we get to do it every day, because we recognize our jobs to perform and win games. So we're not alibiing that. But it is important that we, at least I, recognize that this game's hard, this life's hard, and, you know, I only know of one person that, you know, had perfection, and I ain't him, and I don't think anybody around us is.